What's going on, casters? Today we're going to go over our deck profile of CENTAURBOR BEATDOWN. Alright, so we're going to start off with CENTAURBOR. CENTAURBOR is our main boss monster of the deck. He's going to be our 3-drop, 11 attack, 15 defense. He says you can disenchant 1 earth from this CENTAURBOR in order to target and destroy a card. As long as Foloi Forest is enchanted, this CENTAURBOR cannot be targeted by invoke runes. So that's going to be very, very good, very handy, very useful. And the big 15 booty, the highest defense in the game, I mean, you just can't beat that. So that's going to be our main boss guy. Then we're going to go on to the 2-drops with 2 CENTAURBOR. I would definitely run 3 if I had 3. I sadly only got 1 of the structure deck, and it only comes with 2. So I would definitely run 3 if you have 3. But if not, 2 works just fine, because we are going to be having cards that help us get into him as well. So he's going to be a 2-drop, 5 attack, 7 defense. When this CENTAURBOR is empowered by your artifact and destroys an Elestral in battle, you can nexus the spirits from that artifact to this CENTAURBOR and special ascend it to CENTAURBOR from your hand or deck. So this is going to be our ascension into CENTAURBOR. Then we're going to have 2 Sakurasaur. Sakurasaur is going to be a 2-drop, 6 attack, 8 defense. And it says you can expend 1 earth in order to draw 2 cards. So he's essentially a 3-drop no way version of Nectar of the Gods. So very, very good. Puts a big booty on board and gets us drawing cards so we can draw into our CENTAURBORs, so we can draw into our artifacts, our Foloi Forest, everything we need. So draw power is the name of the game. And this guy helps us out with that. And that's actually going to be it for our 2-drops and 3-drops. So with this being such a 1-drop heavy deck, I do recommend going through and playtesting the 1-drops that you like the best. You can definitely switch it out for some more 2-drops or things like that. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get into the 1-drops here, starting off with Equalinx. Equalinx is actually, in my opinion, one of the most important cards in the deck because it allows you to nexus up to 2 of your earth spirits on the board. When you do, you can target and destroy a ruin. But not only that, the nexusing is super important for your CENTAURBOR because you want as many of these earth spirits as possible so that you can just keep disenchanting and then destroying cards each turn because he does target and destroy any card. So very, very important 1-drop there. Then we're going to have our kind of beat stick here with 2 Tectorus. Tectorus is a 1-drop, 3 attack, 2 defense. This Tectorus gets +1 attack for each enchanting earth on the field. So for every earth spirit on the field that's enchanting something, he gets +1. So he's going to be our big beat stick guy. And that's going to be it as far as our main attackers. Definitely going to be very, very important to have Equalinx with that 4 attack and 3 defense. That 4 attack is going to be pretty high. And then the Tectorus, of course, getting up the more cards you have on the field. Now we're going to go into our support cards. Starting off with our main little guy here, Sproutier. He's our 1-drop, he's our 1-drop, 3 attack, 5 defense. When you normal cast this Sproutier, you can search your deck for an artifact and add it to your hand. Very, very good, especially for your CENTAURBOR plays. Very, very good to have that out for your CENTAURBOR Ascension. And then we're going to keep searching with our Rummagem. Rummagem, 3 copies of Rummagem is a 1-drop, 2 attack, 3 defense. When you normal cast this Rummagem, you can search your deck for an Elestral with enchantment cost 1 earth and add it to your hand. So with this being such a heavy 1-drop build, Rummagem is actually going to be one of your more important cards. And then we keep that searching going, that draw power with our 2 copies of Clovey. Clovey with that 1 attack and big 4 booty. When this Clovey receives 1 or more earth, you can draw a card. So basically, as soon as you play him, you're drawing an extra card. So your hand advantage stays exactly where it is. You don't lose any cards for playing Clovey from your hand. So very, very good. And then we do play 1 copy of Jolton. He's going to be a 1-drop Thunder, 4 attack, which is actually pretty high, with 2 defense. When you normal cast this Jolton, you can search your deck for a Stadium Ruin and add it to your hand. So that's another copy of our Foloi Forest, essentially. And then we have one of our recursion cards being Pandesen. Is a 1-drop, 1 attack, 4 defense, very defensive. You can disenchant 1 earth from this Pandesen. Pandesen? I think it's Pandesen, like pine cone, I think. I could be wrong. You can disenchant 1 earth from this in order to return an invoke ruin from your underworld to your hand, which is actually going to be very, very good because this is a sort of invoke ruin heavy build. So very, very good here. It's honestly worth thinking about running him at 3. I don't know if I would, but it's definitely worth the thought. And then we go into our tech creatures, which are more like spells. We're going to start off with Spy Nymph. We're going to start off with 2 copies of Spy Nymph, which is a 1-drop, 1 attack, 5 defense, which I think might be the second highest in all of the 1-drops. I think 6 might be the highest. I could be wrong, but when this Spy Nymph is destroyed in battle, you can cast it as an artifact empowering the Elestral that destroyed it with the effect. The empowered Elestral has 0 base attack. Super, super good here. So you can essentially just crash into something and make that creature 0 attack. So, so good. Very funny card. Absolutely amazing. And then speaking of amazing, rounding off our Elestrals is going to be 2 copies of Boombat. Boombat is a 1-drop thunder with 2 attack and 1 defense, saying you can disenchant 1 thunder from this Boombat in order to target and destroy an opponent's Elestral. So a lot of destruction in this deck if you haven't noticed. There's going to be your CENTAURBOR plays, there's going to be your Boombat plays, and there's going to be a play coming up as well. You're going to have a lot of destruction and your opponent's going to be very, very annoyed at all the destruction that you're going to get off. And so that's going to wrap up our 1-drops. Alright, so now we're going to get into our runes, starting off with 2 copies of Demeter. Demeter is very, very good, but not the most important card in my opinion. So we're going to run her at 2. When you cast this Demeter, you can enchant up to 3 earth to it. You can disenchant 1 earth from this Demeter in order to give +3 attack and +3 defense to an Elestral until the end phase. So that's just, she's essentially just going to boost all our guys. She's going to help out our guys quite a bit as far as the attack. And then we're going to have 2 copies of our Stadium card, Foloi Forest. 1-drop, Elestrals get +1 attack and +1 defense for each earth enchanting them. So very, very good there, especially because that's going to cause our CENTAURBOR to be not be able to be targeted by Invoke Ruins. Very, very good. And then we're going to have 3 copies of Scythe of Demeter. So very, very good. It's going to be our main source of recursion in this deck because this deck doesn't have a Sluggle or a Quackle, those cards that help you regen your spirits into your spirit deck. So this card is actually going to be very, very important, and you do want to see it for your Septembers as well so you can get into CENTAURBOR as fast as possible. So 3 copies kind of seems like a must to me, but its effect is the Empowered Elestral gets +2 attack and +3 defense. When the Empowered Elestral destroys an Elestral in battle, you can return 1 earth from your underworld to your spirit deck. If Demeter is enchanted, you can return 2 instead. So this is going to be your main way of recursion. You're just going to get a fat creature out there, hopefully have Demeter out there as well. That way you can return 2, but for every creature that you destroy with this guy, you're going to be returning a spirit, so it's going to be paying for itself tenfold. Alright, so now we're going to go into our Invoke Ruins. Starting off with 3 copies of Earthquake, the card that everyone fears in Earth and is hands down a staple for sure. You definitely want 3 copies of this because it is so good and it is essentially going to annoy your opponents to no end. They're going to be absolutely terrified of this card and they're not even going to be focusing on CENTAURBOR or Boombat or all these other cards that are going to help you destroy cards as well. But this is a 2-drop invoke, target and destroy an Elestral. Simple as that. Absolutely amazing. Definitely want 3 copies. Your opponent's never going to let you live it down. And then we're going to run 1 copy of Ambrosia. You could definitely run 2 if you'd want to, but I think the next card kind of makes a lot of sense as well. But 1 copy of Ambrosia to help you get those spirits back into your spirit deck. Like I said, 2 is definitely worth trying. Depending on how fast you're playing and how fast you're getting through cards, possibly even 3, but I don't think it will ever get quite that bad. But 1 drop of any color, return up to 3 spirits of any color from your underworld to your spirit deck. Absolutely amazing. Staple card, 100%. And then we're going to run one Circle the Sky. I love this card because it is a 1-drop, says Nexus up to 2 spirit of any color. If you do, you can draw a card. So this is going to be draw power, and it's going to be nexusing cards onto your Centaurbor so that you have more capability to destroy a card. Absolutely amazing. And then to round off our Invoke runes, we're going to run one copy of Nectar of the Gods. It's a 2-drop of any color. It says draw 2 cards. Very, very simple, very straightforward deck so far. Not a lot to think about, just ram forward, destroy as much as possible, and make your opponents hate their life. Now we're going to get into our counter runes, which we actually don't run that many counter runes in this deck. So you could kind of play around with the counter runes that you want to play with. But for me, I think I'm going to go with 2 copies of Shield of Achilles, which is a 1-drop of any color. And it says, this Shield of Achilles can only be cast after an opponent's Celestial declares an attack. Expend 1 spirit of any color, equal to that Elestral's enchantment cost, in order to negate that attack and return that Elestral to their hand. Absolutely amazing, especially if they have something really large on the field. And then we're going to go into our Poison Tipped Arrow. We're going to run 1 copy of Poison Tipped Arrow. It's going to be a 1-drop of any color. It says, this Poison Tipped Arrow can only be cast when an opponent casts an Elestral. Target it and give it -2 attack until the end phase. During this turn's end phase, you can expend 1 spirit of any color equal to its enchantment cost in order to destroy it. So, very small counter package. You can play around with this, but these are the guys that I kind of like, especially this one because it does more destroying, which is what this deck does. It's just a Centaurbor beatdown because your opponent doesn't have anything left on the field to stop him from beating you down. So that's going to be it for the runes. Now going on to the spirits, we do run 3 copies of Zaptor and 17 copies of Teratlus. So that's going to be our Centaurbor deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I absolutely love this deck. The structure deck boss monsters are all so good. I absolutely love every single one of them. Definitely hope they keep that up because it is so cool to see these guys. It is so cool to see this card game in action, and I'm so hyped for more to come. But with that being said, if you want to find out more about Elestrals, go to Elestrals.com where they have all kinds of information based on lore, information on the cards themselves, all that jazz. And if you want to check out some of the latest news and updates of the game, you can go to their YouTube channel as well at youtube.com/Elestrals. But with that being said, I'm going to get the heck out of here. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace out.